So, hello and welcome to a very festive edition of our series of short documentary videos from the Iron Library's Rare Books collection. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is probably one of my favourite books in the collection. It is a little bit of the cliche of what you might imagine an old book to be, with the red Morocco and gold inlay. And what makes this special is that it is a manuscript. It is completely unique, and it's by Giuseppe Valadier. He was an Italian architect and artist of French ancestry, and he was active in Rome in the late 18th century. And this book tells the story about the casting of the Campanone, the great bell for St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. And it details it with a series of 14 almost photographic pen and watercolour illustrations, each one with an accompanying text with annotations. The commission for the Great Bell wasn't actually won by Valadier, Giuseppe Valadier, but by Luigi Valadier, his father. And Luigi Valadier was one of the most noted neoclassical goldsmiths and artists of his time. He was the official goldsmith to the papacy, which is how he landed the job of casting the bell, even though he had actually never cast one before in his career, which caused a lot of sourness in the rather established Roman bell founding industry. Giuseppe himself, he was an architect for the Vatican, and his father passed on a lot of the work to him, which is probably why he was able to create such a detailed and insightful account. The first part of the process was to build a core, which is the shape of the bell's hollow, and around this they built a so-called false bell made of wax. And the wooden frame that you can see here to the side is a pattern which details the width of the bell. It essentially ensured that the wax was evenly and precisely spread around the core. And so here on the completion of the false bell, you can see how the Valadiers, the artists, then added numerous details. And here they used different coloured wax, probably so they could have an oversight of the decoration's composition. And then the next part of the process was this. They put a clay coating all over the wax, and then they bound this with iron bands for stability. And then they burned the wax out to create a hollow for the mould. This is called the lost wax process of casting, and it's probably the most ancient metallurgical technique. It's maybe even as old as 6,000 years. So here you can see the moment of the casting, and it's a very dramatic painting. It's full of detail, and so you can see here have protective walls built in case the mould cracked and the molten metal slipped out everywhere. And there was a lot of pressure on them, not just because they only had one chance to do this, but probably also because of the commission of the Pope, who they saw as God's representative on earth, and the bell being the largest for the most important building for the Catholic faith. And you can see here, as a detail, just on the wall they put up a shrine with the Madonna and Child with candles. The final bell was about 11 tons in weight, and there are tremendous details visible on it. So the bell's crown, for instance, which is shaped like dolphins and embellished with cherubs, it's an incredibly Baroque detail. So in order to get the bell then from the foundry to St. Peter's, they had to move it carefully and slowly through Rome on a sledge. So here you can see it underway. Okay, and here you can see the final ceremony where the bell was blessed in the presence of cardinals and a choir. And here's the Pope, it's Pius VI, blessing the bell. This is obviously before it had the verdigris colour, when it was still a shining, glimmering copper. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you look forward to the next episode. Merry Christmas.